Lions TV, this is your post-match analysis video for yesterday's 3-0 home defeat to Leeds United at the Den, live on Sky Sports. A crushing defeat in reality, but if I'm honest, I didn't think it was a 3-0 game. I think the difference between the two sides were in the final third, and in this video I'm going to tell you why I don't think it was too much of a surprise and why we shouldn't be too downhearted by the actual performance, if not the results. As always, let's start by taking a look at the 11 that Gary Rowett picked to start the match. So 4 changes were made from the team that played prior to the international break away at Birmingham. It was Balkowski in for Sarkic in goal. Murray Wallace, Jake Cooper and Ryan Leonard were the 3 centre-backs. Norton Cuffy, right wing-back. Ryan Longman, left wing-back. Billy Mitchell, Casper De Noor and Alan Campbell in the centre of midfield, and up front, Kevin Nisbet and Tom Bradshaw. So he's changed 4 players. 2, of course, were forced due to injuries. Still no Joe Bryan as well. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about that one. He's a good player, yes, but he's now 30 years old, and it's not the first injury he's had in a very short space of time at the Den. So hopefully he can get back to full fitness soon. Of course, Longman came in at left wing back, which surprised me a bit. We are struggling for centre backs, and he's gone with Longman at left wing back. But I see a few people digging Longman out. I thought he had quite a good game. And then the big change, I suppose, really was Ian Fleming dropping out, which I personally, and assume a lot of you, didn't have a problem with because he has been off form. But he brought another more central midfielder in Alan Campbell for his first start. And I was really excited when we signed Campbell, but he's miles off the pace still. In fact, I'm going to say this now. I know you'll think I'm a big Billy Mitchell defender. I didn't think Billy played well at all yesterday, and I feel that we lost the game completely pretty much in the midfield. However, a young player coming through the youth academy that's been homegrown at the club, I'm not saying he's proper, we'll leave him alone. I'm saying, maybe we shouldn't expect too much from him. What we should expect from Alan Campbell, we was excited about his signing. He got to the Premier League with Luton, and Casper De Noor, our benchmark signing in the summer. I thought Billy was probably the pick of a bad bunch in that midfield 3. I thought De Noor was absolutely non-existent in the game, didn't really know he's on the pitch, and Alan Campbell is miles off the pace. Thought he was worse than Billy Mitchell. So a lot of people pointing fingers at Billy Mitchell. I don't see he was the reason we lost the game. As I said, Fleming dropped out. Rowett stuck with the same formation. It did make us potentially a little bit more defensive without Fleming, but Fleming's been non-existent. So for me, I didn't really have a problem with what the gaffer did. I just don't feel that the midfield really impacted the game. And then up front, Bradshaw and Nisbet. I love Nisbet, 2 goals in 2 games prior to this game. He's scored a lot of goals at a lot of different clubs in a lot of different divisions, and I'm confident he'll do the same again. But that was a bad performance from him. Wasn't on it, basically. I don't want to bury him because I think he's a great player and he will be going forward for us and he'll get a lot of goals. Look, we start the game and we're on the front foot. It's a sold-out Den. And I say this a lot. If the team don't give the crowd anything to thrive off in that first 10 minutes, someone pulls the plug. That didn't really happen until Leeds scored in the 14th minute. Until that point, we was by far the better side. We was getting into good areas. It's just always, our final ball is not the right ball, or it isn't quality enough, or in this case, we're getting balls into the box. But the Leeds defenders were munching it up. As soon as they started to do that, and be at the top of their game, which they should be because they're a good team, come from the Premier League, expected to go back there, big club, big budget. Then I just realised, pretty much wasn't going to be our day after that first goal went in. But before that, as I said, got into some good areas, created some good chances, half chances, always sort of snatching at chances or, a little block just here and there just doesn't quite fall for us. But then obviously Leeds go up the other end and they score their first goal. There was, of course, contentious decision or lack of decision that led to that. I thought that their goalkeeper was going to do a type of Benicophobe against Crystal Palace where he sort of lost it. Bradshaw took it off him. They sort of went outside and Bradshaw went down. That's the original foul that I thought I saw, because I'm sure I saw the ref put the whistle in his mouth. In fact, the one they was looking at half time when we was in the box and having a look at was the one further after that on the Sky cameras, where I think it might have even been Longman, I can't remember who it was, or Campbell, goes across, someone gets taken down, Leeds break away, and they score a goal. They score a goal through a way that I always harp on about, a way that I want us to try and create and score goals. But we can't do that. Now, why can't we do that? And I'll get onto this a bit later with the players we had on the pitch later in the game. I just think you've got to, at points, hold your hands up and say, they're a good side with millions and millions of pounds worth of talent. I mean, just look at some of the players they've signed. Daniel James was once a £15 million signing for Man United. You've got Pirro, 10 million. Jorginho, 36 million. Onoto, also £15 million. I just think that money, that's what it gets you. I don't think it's a 3-0 game at all. I just feel we was well in it until that first goal. And I think that Leeds were just brilliant and clinical in the final third. I will say that when we concede goals, I have said this before as well, I know a team can be sort of on the back foot, a little bit shaken on the rocks after conceding, but for us it just seems to go on for a ridiculous amount of time. And after they did score that first goal, that was sort of going to be game over in my opinion. We get into the second half, again we just didn't really get going in the second half. I think Ryan Longman in the first half has a shot from distance, and I think Denor actually played in one of his small contributions to the game, lays in Tom Bradshaw, fires straight at the goalkeeper, and then we start to press more. This is when he makes the substitutions, and he brings on Zian Fleming, Duncan Watmore, Idemo Amaku, Romain Esse, pulls off Nisbet, puts Bradshaw up front. Now those players are all good players in my opinion, maybe not all been on form, but I think especially with Watmore and Fleming, I say this, and I've said it before and I say it again, they seem to have been routed. Rowett seems to sort of suck the life out of players in a way. And I don't want to be too critical of Rowett in this video because he actually agreed with some of the things that I said in my full-time reaction. By the way, apologies about the full-time reaction. I managed to attach the microphone around the wrong way on the camera. That's never happened in 7 years. I actually given up by that point. So, yeah, apologies for that one. Hopefully that won't happen again. Well, it won't happen again. But look, I don't want to be too critical of Rowett, but I've seen people on podcasts and players that have played for him and they say he was a brilliant tactician. And maybe he is. Maybe, he is a high-level coach, of course. But what he does is, and the way he preaches and his mantra on playing football, I've said this before as well, is very, very dull. And if I'd have grown up playing the Gary Rowett way as a kid, I don't think I'd enjoy football as much as opposed to the way I did grow up playing football. It's very, very dull under Rowett. And the problem we've got is that he's now got all these players, and I said this in my full-time reaction, it might not have been very clear on the audio, but Ian Holloway used to get to a point, losing games, have a panic up, throw 4 or 5 people on, stick them all up front, don't matter who they are, goalkeeper, fucking defender, maybe a striker, and it didn't work out for us. I didn't really feel Rowett did that yesterday. I thought he made the right subs at the right times. I understand why he didn't start Fleming, he's been off form, we all know that, and he went a little bit more defensive, maybe to try and get a foothold in the midfield, but actually backfired, and none of the 3 midfielders played well in the game. But what he did was, in my opinion, he made the right subs at the right times. But then you've got all those players on the pitch that I've mentioned, Esse, Amaku, Bradshaw, Fleming, Watmore, and we did not create one chance with them on the pitch. They was just non-existent, all of them. We need ideas. Our attack is set pieces, and you might as well give up them, because that's been sussed out, okay? Jake Cooper gets borderline assaulted by 4 or 5 players, and we're never going to get anything for it now. That's our only sort of way into a set piece. A Cooper flick on directly at goal, or a Cooper flick on where someone's trying to run beyond. But that's out the window now because teams have sussed that out. Other than that, we go sideways, backwards, and we try and get balls into the box. But as I said, the Leeds back line munched that up aerially, and we had absolutely no joy of it. We've got no plan of attack. People say about a plan B. Why have we got a plan B? Why have we got a big man on the bench? We haven't got a plan A. We do not have one. There is nothing coming forward, and Rowett may have had, slight success maybe at other clubs he's managed in the division, not including Stoke. He did all right at Birmingham, he did all right at Derby. But it's all, I've said this before, he's a stabiliser. He's never going to set the world alight, and we're not going to be progressive and improving, because I do feel the squad has improved. I feel it's as strong as it's been in a long, long time. But we don't the players' strengths are, attacking, overlapping, but we don't do that. I think they can do that. I just don't think he allows them to do so. I don't think he's got the ideas to unlock defences. Leeds, on the other hand, polar opposite, overlapping, getting into those little pockets I always talk about in between full-backs and centre-backs, and then we start pushing forward, and then the second goal comes again. Dan James, absolute lightning quick, will probably give Usain Bolt a run for his money, breaks away, and they were sort of queuing up, weren't they, to tap the second one in. And then the third one, again, is just a really, really good breakaway goal. The ref got a lot of shit yesterday. I thought he actually had quite a good game. He let a lot go. Might have done some 1 or 2 decisions, but I don't think that was going to be a deal breaker for the result. I just think that Leeds are that level above us in terms of structure, ability, players, money. It's just what it is. And I'm thinking now that, that we maybe have been punching above. Maybe we overachieved last year. The division is, in my opinion, a stronger division than it was last season. And I just feel at times you just got to roll your hands up and say, do you know what, they're just a fucking better side. I do agree with Rowett, though. I did say it in my full time before Rowett's post-match press conference had come out, that I don't think it was a 3-0 game. Leeds deserved their win, brilliant and clinical in the final third, but I don't feel it was a 3-0 game. We're pushing forward. They score their second, they very quickly get their third. And the life and the fucking fan base just flooded out of SE16. And it wasn't good. But look, I don't think we should be too harsh on them, strangely enough. It wasn't great yesterday, but I don't think you're going to come up against teams that good every week, or that clinical, should I say, every week. I felt we held our own in the game. I said in the full time as well that a mate of mine brought his mate along who's not actually a Millwall fan, but comes occasionally 2-3 times a season. And he said, it's always the same with you. You're not a bad side. You compete. You're in it. You give everything you got. Again, which I can't argue with. I do agree they did that. But then you just haven't got that little edge in the final third, that little bit of quality, that little bit of class that's going to get you the goals. Barkas yesterday, he's not had a save to make. Okay, he's let 3 in. But other than that, I don't think they had a real shot at goal. They had the one in the first half, the guy lobs over, but he didn't even go on target, did he? He actually stayed on the pitch. Going through the team, Bart ain't got a problem with him being back in. I didn't think there would be a problem. A lot of you were sort of hating on him. Oh, he's shit, he's past it, his knees are gone. Said it a million times, his knees are gone long before he came for the club. Ryan Leonard, I thought, played really well in the game. Cooper was a little bit exposed, I felt. Murray Wallace, I thought, I didn't want him to play. I thought he had a good game. Norton Cuffy, I'm going to be honest with you, I've seen enough of him now to tell you that he's not very good. He is miles out of position all the time. He's far too advanced. He is very clumsy in his approaches when he's trying to take people on. He's got no tricks or pace. Maybe he shouldn't have so many tricks. He's a right wing back, but he sort of stumbles through people and gets a lucky break here and there. But I don't think he's that good at all, if I'm really, really honest. I thought Longman played well as the other fullback, wing back. A lot of people I've seen saying he plays shit. I think he looks like a very tidy footballer, good with both feet, good delivery into the box. Yes, he did hit a shot. That's probably still travelling towards the Alderton Road over the South Stand. But I thought he looked like a tidy player. Mitchell, I've covered. Denor was non-existent, in my opinion. He's been out injured. Okay, maybe we can accept that. And I think Campbell will be good for us. You don't become a bad player overnight. But he's going to need more time. He's had the international break to get fit. Maybe it's going to take time to fit. We get this a lot. I say we've got good players. And they do look good on their show reels, etc., etc. And then they come to the club and they turn into a bag of shit. But it's because they've been routed, in my opinion. I don't think he's got many ideas for us going forward. I've said this a million times as well, and I say it again. I've said that phrase a million times in this one video, that I've just become accustomed to what life is as a Millwall fan under Gary Rowett. Will he ever excite us? No. Will we ever get a cup run out of it? No, because he doesn't know how to go for the juggler of the big sides when we get him to the den. So I don't know where we go with this. Look, we'll probably go and beat Rotherham on Wednesday night. It'll probably be a scrappy 1-0. I still don't think we'll go down. But we're never going up in a million years. 2 strikers I didn't cover, by the way. Bradshaw worked tirelessly again. Thought we'd done well. Kevin Nisbet, worst game he's played for us yet, but I've covered that as well. The other thing I was going to mention as well, in the midfield, George Saville, a lot of you screaming, why ain't Saville playing? He's got to be the one in there. In my opinion, reading between the lines, the reason why that is that George Saville is, I think, 31 years old. He was away on international duty when Northern Ireland and played in both games for them. So I'm guessing he may have come back with tired legs. You've got other players, younger players, that are there, fresh, ready to come in. So we can point fingers all day and pick the bones out of it. Rowett shouldn't have dropped in a third central midfielder. But we got 4 points out of 2 games previous to the international break with that formation. Yes, he dropped one slightly deeper, but I can see why he did it. And we all wanted Fleming out the side. He's absolutely shot to bits for him, by the way. He ended up going back to fucking wherever he came from at this rate. I don't know what's happened to him. He did do an article with, I think, News at Den saying that, he didn't have a desire to leave, etc., etc. That could have been a cover story. I don't know. But, that's about it, really. I just think you've got to hold your hands up at times and say Leeds were clinical in the final third. They took all 3 of their chances, and the reason why is because they got multi-million pounds worth of talent in their side. It did pain me to say that, but it's just the fucking truth, unfortunately. But there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll be back tomorrow for a preview for the Rotherham game at the Den on Wednesday. I could or could not be there yet. I will keep you posted on the socials. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.